Hi guys, it's Ruby. So a very quick message. You can barely hear me. Um, so we are on the private island at the moment, which is north of Coron Island in Philippines, of Palawan. So we're staying here for about a day and a half. We'll be keeping you posted about what's going to happen next. It's beautiful, the whole island, for four of ourselves and the people working there. So we'll be able to see more of the island and following video. Enjoy. Hi guys, it's Ruby Roos and welcome to another video. So as you know, we've been traveling across Asia. We've been in Hong Kong before, and then we ended up in Manila in Philippines. We went to North Luzon, then we went to Puerto Princesa, Palawan, El Nido, and next stop of our big trip is a private island called Rock Island. Found it on Airbnb. I'll leave the link description in the description box below. So it's called Rock Island. It's based on the north from Coron Island. So you can, to get to Coron Island, there's few ways. You can fly into Busuanga Airport. You can fly there from El Nido. You can fly from Manila. You can, I think, fly from Puerto Princesa as well, and maybe a few other destinations. You can actually fly there from Cebu as well. So we chose the alternative version, which is cheaper, but one of the reasons why we did it is because we wanted to experience a slightly different way of traveling. So what we've done was we got a ferry from El Nido across to Coron, and basically we've done that purely for just change, because we had so many flights booked in advance later on, and before that we said, oh, it would be nice to maybe experience the ferry. Now the ferry is about 4 to 5 hours. There's a word of warning, few things actually. First of all, especially in the busy season, like when we were here, it's January, February, it's always a peak season, so always pre-book them in advance. And we booked it the day before we went in, and they give you an option whether you want to sit inside or outside. We chose the seat inside. I would preferably recommend you take a seat outside, and I'll explain you why. And as well, I've heard that before. We hadn't that opportunity, but sometimes if the weather is bad or if it's too stormy, it's cancelled. Now they're not very big ferries. Not like some of the ones that you see in Europe, in Mediterranean, Greece, or they are smaller ferries. So be aware of that. They can get booked out or they can get cancelled if the weather is bad. They're not expensive. I think they cost us like 10 euros or maybe 14 euros a head. So they're not really expensive comparing to flight tickets that will cost you probably about 100. But yeah, of course, flying is much easier, and probably if we ever go back, I would recommend probably flying, purely because there is a few things that happened during our trip on ferry. So you had to be there very early. So first of all, the ferries took off at 8 or after 8, so you have to be there an hour before. Now, another thing, they do not accept digital tickets, so the tickets have to be printed out. So they don't tell you that in advance till you get there this morning, and then you have to kind of run back to the local shop around the corner. That's an office where you can buy tickets as well, and they actually print it out for you. We got on the boat and we had the seats inside. There was 4 of us. So I never have a problem with being in a boat, but The sea was very calm when we were leaving El Nido, but literally after about 15 minutes it started getting very rough, and it got really rough. You didn't think so, but you could feel everything. And basically, if you suffer from, there's no way to get out. The moment you're inside, the doors are shut to upstairs, so you cannot go outside unless you have seats outside. Hence, that's why I'm telling you, if you can, choose the seats outside because you're in the fresh air. Because being inside, out of 4 of us, 3 of us were just dead completely, and 75% of the whole boat was seasick. Now, I don't know if it's common that the seas are quite rough, but it was just really, you kind of felt like you were in a washing machine, and it wasn't a pleasant experience. And basically for about more than a half of the trip, we were just not well. And luckily enough, we kind of slowed down later on because we were going through between the different islands, and the seas calmed down a bit. So it was a bit easier, but it was not a nice experience. Now, when I was booking the accommodation, so they give you a few options. So you can get collected. So if you get into the port via the ferry, so you go into the Coron port, Coron, and then you can get either some sort of your own transport or rent a scooter and get across the island to get to the port where they can meet you on the boat, or they can pick you up from the port. Of course, it's an extra charge, but it's if there's a group of you, it's not very expensive. Yeah, if you're flying into Busuanga Airport, which is closer to the port, to the other side of the island, they can pick you up there as well. It's a little bit cheaper again. And they offer to drop you back then to the airport or to the port, whatever you're heading next. So we chose the option to being picked up from the Coron port, and it was great because we came off and literally they were just waiting for us. They were in the van, and it take about an hour to travel on across the other side of the island, and then literally from there on they just move your luggage to their own little private boat. It's a small boat, and then it takes about roughly half an hour, 14 minutes to get to the Rock Island. And considering that we were quite not well beforehand, you know, it's an open boat, so, and there's a nice fresh air. Now, we were a little bit unlucky because the sea was quite choppy, hence our experience on the ferry was not that well. But the views are great and the sea is gorgeous. So when we got there to the island, the boat that we were on wasn't able actually to get to the beach itself. So they had to get a little dinghy to get us over to the coast, because the sea was quite rough, and we were very unfortunate because for this time of our stay the sea was quite rough, and there was kind of 2 currents meeting in front of the beach, so it wasn't really that safe to go for a swim, unfortunately. And even the staff that was greeting us and they were talking to us on the beach on the Rock Island, they were saying that we were very unlucky because normally it's very calm, so we couldn't exactly enjoy the whole sea experience itself because it was just too choppy. But it was beautiful and hot and sunny, so we enjoyed the beach. And to be honest, it was the first time where we actually could slow down and do nothing and don't worry about nothing. So for a day and a half, and a little bit, I suppose, day and a half, let's say, we were just relaxing, and because it was the first stop where we didn't have to worry about, oh, where we're going next tomorrow, or what we have booked tomorrow, or that was just us relaxing, chilling, reading, playing volleyball on the beach, because the beach has a great setup for that kind of areas. And the staff was amazing. They would just come in and ask us, what time would you like your lunch? What time would you like your dinner? They didn't ask us what we'd like. We just trusted them that whatever they serve us will be fine. It was lovely. Like when we arrived there, we had a lovely lunch with lovely local dishes, lovely fresh mango for dessert, great prawns dishes, pork dishes, all across the 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 dinner and the lunch and the breakfast the next morning. But the views and we had a little roam around the island to see kind of, now the island is not big, but we were the only people on the island, so we felt, and the staff kind of keeps to themselves. The guys went off the next day to the main island to do a bit of shopping and do some fishing. I think they got us some fish that we had for lunch or for a dinner that last night. We arranged a few little things, so we had a little area where we would have a little San Miguel beer before our dinner, and we were eating on the beach itself. They set up this little tent and the table for us. It was very great. I mean, you literally were sitting by and the views. I mean, our accommodation, we were staying in a little house with 2 bedrooms with 2 bunk beds, and we were sharing a bathroom. Now there's no electricity per se in the island, obviously, so it's all run on generators. So during the day there is no air conditioning in the room unless you really want them, but we were saving it. There was no need for it. Only at night they would turn on the generators and we were able to use the air conditioning for the night. Now, like, because the sea was quite rough, like, you can hear the little hut is just basically just made out of little very thin material, so you can hear the sea, because the sea is literally like 10 meters away from you when you open the doors from the patio. So it's just amazing when you get up in the morning, you open doors and there you are, just the sea's just there. It's just, I've never been that close to the sea in a way, in a house like that. So that's just amazing itself, and the views and quietness of it, and the fact that you're very private. There's no other people around you. There's no really close islands around you. There's very little boats or anybody passing you. So you're totally private apart from the staff that's on the island. So it was just a great way of chilling and relaxing, and we had a great time. And I definitely would recommend you to do it if you are there. And we kind of regretted it that we couldn't stay a little bit longer, because we really enjoyed the fact that we were just on our own and just could relax, because we've been doing quite a lot. We've been moving quite a lot. But we had a next flight booked to Cebu. So and the weather actually was changing the day when we were leaving. The day when we were leaving, actually, the sea was very calm, and the boat was able to pull in straight away into the beach. But it was definitely an experience that we definitely will remember forever, because we had a whole island to ourselves with people, with this lovely staff, very friendly. That were able to accommodate us and serve us food, and we didn't have to worry about anything. It was just great. Be careful, like, with the sun. The sun is very strong, and you have to make sure that you put a lot of cream and sunscreen on and sun protector on you. But yeah, it was great experience, and I'm really looking forward. We all are really looking forward for what's going to happen next, in our next stop. So I have nothing else to say. Enjoy the rest of the images. I was able to fly a bit of drone and give you the scope of the island and the accommodation that we were having, and we'll see you in the next video. guys, this is the end of our private island adventure. Next stop, Cebu.